Well, howdy, howdy, howdy again. It's still March 1st, 2019, but now it is 4:14 p.m. and don't look at my hair. I know, it looks like, yeah. I even took a shower last night, but yeah, look, but it is what it is. You're not coming on here for a beauty tutorial, that's for sure. You're just coming on here for normal, excuse me, normal daily life of my life. Anyway, thought I'd come on here and talk about a few things. Nothing major, but I just kind of wanted to yik yak. Sometimes you just want to talk and feel like somebody's listening. Not that my husband doesn't listen, but he does. But, somebody that's not living the same situation that you are. Nothing more new has happened. But I did tell my sister-in-law, I got thinking about it, and the one sister-in-law is kind of acting like a child throwing a fit over some things. And I said, I think if we all get together and we all say the same uniformed thing and give it the same reaction, and that is that we hope that she gets some help soon for her irrational thoughts and behaviors, and that we don't say anything more and we just say it very calmly, and stuff, that, if we don't have other people running back and giving, there's some other people in the family that, or one person in particular that kind of runs back and gives, kind of stirring the pot with her. Can you hear that loud bass and everything? That's outside my house. My next trailer, they had company over or something. Isn't that incredible? But anyway, if we just give her that unify, it kind of, it's like a child will throw a fit because they want a reaction, and when you don't react, then they stop. So, I'm going to take kind of a mental health, I think I'm going to take kind of a 3-day weekend here, maybe a 4-day. Maybe I'll make it 4 days. I'm not going to be talking to anybody on the phone. I will text if you're one of my people. I have just a couple that communicate with me. Charlie, that's enough, please. If you want to text, I'll text when I can, but I just need kind of a break. We've got so much going on, and, with my concern with Brad's pain and stuff, that I just need a little bit of downtime. And that's just the way I handle it. A lot of other people handle stuff the way they do. I just need to kind of dive into being very creative, which I'm going to do. In fact, when I finish this and start uploading it, I'm going to go into the art studio and do some painting because I want to. But, if we do that, if we, sorry. See, my mind is so jumbled. Charlie, please. It's okay. If I'm going to do that, sometimes, you got so much on your mind, and then, with me anyway, and the way my Asperger's mind works, is you have so much on your mind, and then you have this other person talking to you, and you're having a hard time paying attention, and you want to maybe talk about what's going on in your life, but you don't want to be rude, so you're just listening to what's going on in their life, and then before you know it, you never even got to say anything about this is going on, or that's going on, or, stuff. So, that's my fault, because I don't, a lot of times I don't really tell people, I'm not real forthcoming. Of course, Brad and I talk a lot, about what's going on, and, because we had another incident last night with a family individual. Like, oh, please. And I feel so bad for my one sister-in-law. She has to deal with it all the time, every day, and stuff. So, we put out some fires there, and, but yeah, I'm going to take some time, I'm the type, I always run around, I'm always worried about my friends, and sometimes I need to take a step back and, say, hey, you've been really overwhelmed with this stuff lately, and it's making my mind all just combobulated, and can't hardly think straight, and that's why you're seeing, the one good thing about it is it's been making my last few pieces of artwork more expressive and with a lot more feeling, because that's a lot of times how I express myself, is either through written word or artwork. Sometimes a combination of both have been known to do. I haven't done a piece like that in a long time, where I'll have a poem written on on the right side of the paper, and then on the left side I will have a painting. I need to do that again. So anyway, got some ideas for what I want to do for my next couple of pieces. Those are going to be expressive ones again. And Brad's having a better pain day. He's still in a lot of pain, but it's not as bad as it was. Just kind of trying to keep ahead of it, like I said, with the Tylenol and the Aleve and, the other stuff he has. So, that's what that is. One of the things I wanted to kind of talk about is sometimes if you guys don't mind, I'm going to do a little bit of loom knitting while I talk to you guys for a few minutes. Like I said, I just want to talk and have someone kind of listen and not feel like I gotta, be putting out fires or any of that. Do some ribbon with this one. Really pretty rainbow ribbon. Let me get this started. A lot of times, you just want somebody to just kind of listen to you, and that's where I'm at. And, I'm real, I would say kind of fragile, and I feel like sometimes I'm being kind of snapped at and stuff, and so I have a tendency to, like, I need to take a step back for a little bit, But anyway, I was thinking back and thinking about inventions that we use every day that we did not grow up with. If you're in my age range, I'm 54, or a little bit younger maybe, or a little bit older. We did not grow up with microwaves. I remember the first microwave we got was, my grandmother had one first. And I remember, too, that my grandmother had the first color TV. But I remember the first microwave in our house was a big, great big one, In fact, in them days, they made microwave stands. You guys remember those? But it was a great big one, and it was really loud, and we all would gather around it, just like you did the first color TV, and just be mesmerized and stuff. Yeah, so I remember that, and then I didn't have my first own microwave until my youngest daughter was born. And that was so nice, because back in those days you did heat up formula in the microwave. So that was really a big game changer on feeding babies and stuff. With my first daughter, didn't have even, I used cloth diapers, and, you just have to heat the bottle up in a pan of water on the stove. And, I went real old-fashioned on my first daughter. Second daughter, microwave and disposable diapers. So, yeah. But imagine that these younger people don't know what it's like, and almost think you're barbaric that they didn't have all these microwave foods. Well, we got our first microwave when I was a child and stuff, they didn't really have any microwave. All the TVs in there still came in tin foil or aluminum or whatever it was, to be cooked in the oven. They didn't have things specially made for that. I guess the nearest thing that was already available was the let me put this down a little bit. Was the cup of noodles. Other than that, you didn't have all these foods that all you have to do is throw it in the oven or microwave and ka-ching. People don't know what it's like to grow up without cell phones. I mean, in some ways, we as teenagers got away with a bit more because, we weren't tethered to a cell phone. Well, you better call it whatever time and check in, you better answer that cell phone. It's like, well, no, because, you know, I'm sure the cell phones are disrupting many, many makeout sessions, So, yeah, I was just thinking about that kind of stuff. Because I'm thinking about, and you guys tell me, excuse me, how many electronic devices for kitchen stuff do you have? Because isn't it insane when you think about it, like making a meal, you might be using your Instapot, you might be using your rice maker, or you might have used your blender or your food processor. It's like we have a toaster oven, we have a air fryer, we have a great big, I have 12 trays on the round dehydrator. We've got the food processor. We've got the blender. We've got the mini blender. What else we have? We have a couple crock pots. One is a big one that does like Instapot and a whole pressure cooking and a whole bit. I've got a KitchenAid. I've got a lot of the sets that go with it. I have a handheld mixer too. I have a handheld little blender. I have two of those. I have an electric knife. I'm trying to think of what else we have because it's hard to find room for all stuff. We have the electric skillet. Of course, the microwave. There's probably some stuff I'm forgetting. But isn't it incredible when you think of all of the stuff we have just to cook with? And what do we often do? Well, we don't go out to eat very often, but a lot of times you'll end up going out to eat because you're like, oh, I don't feel like cooking, or you'll throw something in the microwave or the air fryer now. So I just thought it was kind of interesting how times go like that. It's like, wow, it's just incredible when you think about it, and you think about how our grandmothers and stuff cooked. It's so different. I mean, you wanted to cook some meat, you better take that meat out in the morning so it's going to unthaw now. Got to get out the chili. I was supposed to get out a small thing of chili because we're having frozen burritos tonight because I don't feel like cooking, and Brad gets off at 6 here, so that'll be good. It's been raining here. It's raining like crazy. It just, it rained so hard earlier. It was incredible because the wind came up with it. None of the wind, we don't really have any wind here, but yeah, it came up. It was a belly washer. Just, wow, but I'm not complaining. I'll put up with that because I'm not putting up with the snow, so that's always good. Somebody asked me not too long ago why I like making hats so much. I was like, I don't know. I just do. I just like making hats. I like all the diversity with it and all the, sizes, colors, etc. So I just like making them. What did I talk to you guys about? I'm just chit-chatting. I just, I was kind of ranting last night to Brad because, this whole thing with a family member, and she's just, it's like it seems to be nothing she won't go out and do or, lie about or whatever. And it's like, just stop, And I said, she must not, I feel like she must not love her mother at all to keep doing this and stuff. It's like, just horrible. I know she sees it completely differently, and that's fine, But, yeah, that's just what's been going on here. I just, once in a while, though, you feel like you're just too spent, that you give and give and give, and you just, maybe you just, need to conserve the giving. I hate the way this is, just gets to my neck. But you just hate to conserve. You need to conserve the giving to those that really need it right now within your immediate family, you know. And that's what we're doing is, supporting each other and, and all that good stuff. But, what else? What else? I'll show you. Did I show you guys? I think I showed you guys. Did I show you guys a few hats? I think I did last night, guys. Didn't I? I'm sure I did. If I didn't show you any hats on the video before this one, let me know. Because I don't want to show them again if I have. I'm sure I did, because I remember. I can't remember if I showed them to you or if I showed them to Brad, because Brad's usually asleep by the time I'm finishing hats, so a lot of times he doesn't see them. So, it's like, I'm running two different strands, if you're wondering. I have this strand, and this is a ribbon, and I have a real thin pink baby yarn that pairing with it, and then I have this strand here. So, like I've done right here is that part of the ribbon, and then the rest all around will be the chunkier yarn. Chunky, reminds me of when I was a kid. Mom would order our clothes once a year from Wards, Montgomery Wards. And it was always within the husky section. I hated that, that it was called that. But yeah, you'd get 5 outfits, which, oh my God, just, and she meant well, but they were the polyester matching pants with the shirt. You got 5 sets like that. But that wasn't what anybody was wearing at school. They were wearing jeans and stuff. But, it was what it was. And then Dad and I would spend all summer working to pay off that bill and stuff. We would go paint houses and do roofs and, heck, I was even allowed to use a torch because we were burning the paint off of our neighbor's house. And then you would get it, you'd put it on the paint. The paint, this house had so many layers of paint. And have it bubble up and then scrape it off. And then we go through with a sander and sand it all and then prime it before we painted it. So, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Another thing I'm really happy about the way I grew up is, there's a really big difference between how my so-called brother and I grew up. He was pretty much given everything he ever wanted. And, quote, raised as an only child. And even though there's only 5.5 years difference, but, and Mom and Dad had a lot more money from the time he was in grade school on. Now, with me, I was already just getting ready to start high school when we moved, and stuff. So we grew up a lot more frugally because, like, for years and years, we didn't have any health insurance or anything because my dad worked for my grandfather at the bowling alley. So, we didn't have near the money. So I always had said that, I learned the value of $1 and I learned how to economize and I learned not to just expect everything given to me and all of that. And where he, grown up being very, very spoiled and used to getting anything he wants and, act like it should, all be deserved. He should deserve all of it and stuff. I mean, I don't mean to sound bad, and I'm just going to put this on out here because I know the little fucker, and excuse me if you got children watching, subscribe to my channel. And there's nothing I can do about that. He's not allowed to comment, but he, you know, but, you know, he seems to think he can just do whatever he wants and lie and that you're just going to forgive him and stuff. And it's like, no, I'm done. I mean, you know, that was the last time that you lied to the parents again, and they believed you, and you know, and you knew how much that would hurt. And in fact, when he did that, we kicked him out of the house. You know, I knew he had someplace else to go, but I kicked him out of the house that day. So what happened was, he'd been living with us. I'm going to put this all out here, people. I don't care. He'd been living with us for a year and 15 months rent-free, right? He worked at the same dealership as my husband. And we finally decided, you know, he's making the same as Brad. Sometimes he's making more. Sometimes Brad's making a little bit more. But he, you know, that he could maybe pay a little bit of rent, right? Well, when we gave him a month notice, so that if he didn't like that he was going to have to do that, he could, you know, he'd move out and get another place or whatever. And he never said hey or nay about it or anything. And then it come to be January 1st, he needed to pay again, right? Or he needed to pay. Never had, you know. And my husband sent him a text to remind him. It was like, it wasn't specifically January 1st. It was the first time they got paid in January at the dealership. So my husband sent him a text to remind him, and I happened to be sitting right there by my brother. We were talking, and it was his day off. And he got up. He ran downstairs. He lives downstairs in the basement. He had the whole basement. And apparently, and I didn't know this, but he called his mommy and lied to her. Told her this was a big surprise. He didn't know anything about this and all of that. Well, my mother decides to call me and tell me how I'm going to run my house. Tell me that they were going to pay his rent, and she was real nasty about it. And they would be sending a check every month. And I tried to explain to her that he had lied. He had had prior notice to this. And she's like, you know, he doesn't have any money. It's like, he just got paid a bonus that they all got paid for Christmas and stuff. He had all kinds of, you know, he bought all kinds of gifts for his girlfriend and stuff. Well, of course, you know, she never would believe anything that, you know, would, you know, for years, that if Danny did anything, it was everybody else's fault. So anyway, I got off the phone with her. I told her no, that was not going to be what happened. And she said, well, you know, she told me, well, that my husband gets a pension and I know that Danny doesn't have any money. It's like, so that's not why Brad stayed all those years to get a pension to pay for his brother-in-law, you know. And I mean, $300 is all you have to pay for your living expenses? You know, your in-home living expenses? I mean, you know, and that included me taking care of 3 of his animals every day, you know. But I said, no, that wasn't going to happen, and I hung up the phone, and I went downstairs because he wouldn't come upstairs. And, you know, I confronted him about what he had done, and I told him to get out. And I thought I was going to have a heart attack. My heart hurt so bad. I was on the stairs, and I was shaking, and my hands were shaking and stuff, and I ended up calling my husband home. Because he kept coming toward me, and, you know, I wasn't sure if he was going to hit me or not, and I knew if he did, I was going to deck him. And, you know, so I called my husband, and we kicked him out that day. And I have not spoken to my parents. They have never contacted me. He contacted me like 6 months after we moved and tries to act all chummy. And then, you know, he kept wanting, he took most of his stuff the day he left. He left us a little bit of stuff. He kept wanting to come and get it. Now, what you have to understand is that his dog had about 3 months prior destroyed our downstairs. He had this great big German Shepherd that he did not take care of and he was abusive to. And this dog was very aggressive in turn and had attacked like my greyhound and caused a lot of damage and stuff. Well, his dog Coco had tore up the drywall all in one whole corner, big, and the door frame. And it also tore up the carpet. This was well over $1,000 worth of damage. My brother did not ever even offer to pay for the damages. In fact, was throwing kind of a fit about having to vacuum up the chunks and stuff. And didn't say anything to us. And when we heard what was him vacuuming and the chunks, I told Brad, I said, you better go down and look. I said, what's going on? And, and then he told me, he's like, you don't want to see this. And, he had permanently stained like our bathroom floor down there with his fake tan stuff. And there was so many bags of trash we had to take out of there and everything. Brad still has the pictures. But, I mean, he was out every night. He was living a rich man's life. I tell you what, he was out eating at these expensive restaurants and everything, living it up, having his clothes all dry cleaned and stuff. We're pretty sure he did something to our dryer. We bought a brand new dryer. But every load of clothes that you took out of there after about the first week stunk to high heaven like of animal feces. I don't know. He could have shoved some down in the dryer, somewhere and stuff. It was just, before that, on my uncle's memorial, I had to go down for my uncle's memorial down at my parents' house, and he had thrown me under the bus there where he lied and told him that I said he couldn't have Coco there. Well, what we had said about 6 months prior was after Coco attacked our dog and then kept trying to attack our dog was that he was going to need to find, what we said was you could not leave Coco overnight and stuff. You needed to be home. See, before that, he might not come home. And he didn't care because he knew I took care of the dogs. Well, even though we said, hey, you need to come home and let this, spend some time with your dogs and everything. And, take care of them means food feeding them and everything that we did. And he just wouldn't do it. So knowing that we were going down there, I was talking to him that morning. I got ready to leave. He even walked me out to my Jeep. I thought we were having a great time, and everything. Oh, my brother's so awesome and stuff. And then he threw me under the bus. He no more than evidently ran back in that house, called his parents, and lied to them. Now, I walk into the house. Now, get this. I hadn't seen my parents for about a year and a half because there had been another conflict with another family member and them that had decided that they should do a well check on me because they didn't like something I had said on YouTube about problems with my parents. Anyway, the police watched the video and said, well, they don't see where you did anything wrong at all or anything. And, they said I could bring them up on charges if I wanted. But anyway, my uncle committed suicide. So I called down there, because I felt like, my dad probably needed me and stuff. And I was excited but nervous to go down there and see them, and walk in the house. Nobody saying a word to me. There's no greeting. There's no anything. And I thought, wow. I almost turned around and just left. So I thought, wow, So I'm like, hi, what's going on? And they're like, nothing. So I tried to sit down, and I usually sat on this chair right by Mom. She had stuff all piled up. She wouldn't let me sit there. Nope. I had to sit in the other chair, away from her. Okay. So I said, what's going on? And they said, well, your brother's bringing down Coco because he called and said you won't let him have Coco there anymore. So, we're just going to take the dog because that's what family does. And then she proceeds to say, well, he said he's got a a metal kennel for her and stuff, so it'll work out. And I said, you mean the metal kennel that we own, that I'm letting him borrow? It's a brand new metal kennel, a great big one like Charlie had. And she said, of course, she's like, well, I don't know anything about that. And I was like, it's one we own and stuff. Well, he ended up just bringing the dog down in his, I don't know if he brought his car or his truck, because the metal carrier, or the dog carrier he had, wouldn't fit. And I said, well, if you'd been honest with me and stuff, I said, I would have brought that kennel down. And then I confronted him about, he's about the metal carrier, the metal kennel, and I said, the one we own. Oh, I thought you gave it to me. I'm like, it's brand new. We didn't give it to you. We were letting you borrow it, And he just, But, why do that? We're down there because my one uncle passed away from cancer. And the next day, my other uncle, and these are all siblings, committed suicide. Now, that wasn't the entire reason. The other reason was he had Crohn's really bad, and he was just suffering so bad. And then 3 weeks after that, my aunt, their sister, committed suicide. But anyway, it just was enough. It was enough. And, all of my life, my brother could do no wrong. My brother could do no wrong. He got in trouble for flipping off this guy when they were riding the bus, and the guy got so mad he stopped the bus and got up on there, and and I don't know if he shook Danny or what. Yeah, he shouldn't have, but of course that got turned around that that he was just innocent, and it's like he wasn't just innocent. He was in junior high and knew better, and at least, you would think parents would have had to talk it to about him. And no, they just made it a big joke. But, I just kind of wanted to put my story out there because I know the little fucker is subscribed to my channel. And, if you are watching, have fun watching. Know that I want nothing ever to do with you. Again, my parents are more than welcome to contact me anytime they want. They can contact me through my husband's phone number, or Dad's cell phone, and because I have his number blocked. I have the house phone blocked. He lives with the parents now. I'll tell you about that in a second. But and I blocked my brother's phone number. I blocked the house phone. So, because I just don't want anything more to do with him. If you don't like me, and I'd heard too, and witnessed, he's left an old cell phone at our house. It had all kinds of text messages that were very hurtful about us and stuff, yet he's living in our house. But I want nothing ever to do with him again in my life. You are dead to me, because, and I know some of you might not understand that, but you just don't understand the amount of hurt and stuff. I loved my brother. I took care of him a lot when we were kids. Yes, he was born with a physical problem, and he was in and out of the hospital a lot. And I doted on him. I protected him, everything growing up, And, and I never blamed him for him getting all the attention and getting treated special. He got everything, and I was ignored by our mother. But I didn't blame him. It wasn't his doing. But for the way he treated and stuff and used us, he never helped do laundry. He never helped. He did his own laundry, but he never helped wash a dish. He never provided a meal. He never would, like, if we were sitting there and Brad needed help carrying like something in, or moving furniture, Danny would literally Um, uh, that's not his real name, by the way. But he would literally jump up and leave the room or leave the house. In fact, it got to a point if we really wanted some privacy, we'd say we were going to move some furniture or something because he'd get up and he'd leave. But yeah, I mean, he never helped with a damn thing, and he was abusive to both of his dogs. That's why we ended up with Coco, or not Coco. We ended up with CJ, the beagle, because she attached herself to me. She loved me, and I loved on her, and I took care of her, and it's like her toenails were so badly curved when she came and stuff that she had one that was digging into the pad of her foot, and I had to slowly keep clipping it away. And she got to the point where she was so used to me doing it that the years after that she would just lay there while I clipped her toenails. And she loved it, and she made it down here, and then she passed away about 6 months after we got down here, and stuff. Old age, and that's why we ended up with the cat too, Jasper, because again, you know, and Jasper was a love bug too, and Jasper made it about a year down here, and then passed away. He had a heart problem that nobody had ever picked up on, or that we never knew about. So, but yeah, it's just always been so much conflict and stuff, and it's like I can't take the games and stuff, and just won't do it. I just won't do it. And like I said, sometimes you can't. And we all have people that maybe we know are watching our videos that, or are subscribed to our channel that we wish we could block. I mean, you can block them to a certain degree, commenting and stuff, but, nothing else you can do about it. You know, nothing else you can do about it except for just, Brad and I aren't the type to fight with family members if we just don't simply get along, and it doesn't look like we're going to be able to come to a solution that is, is just going to be workable for everybody. Then we just kind of step away. We just, we think the biggest respectful thing we can do is just to not, bother you anymore. So I don't know if that helps shed some light on why I have no relationship with my brother or the parents any longer. The parents, is their choice. No, I haven't reached out because, like I said, last time I was reaching out and stuff, they decided they didn't want to be bothered with me. And between them and another family member, decided it would be a good idea to have a will check done on me, which I'm sitting there in my home, sicker than crap that day. Was still bowling, but canceled that day because I just had like the stomach flu. Sitting there, and the police come knocking on my door. And, it really traumatized me. I did not do any more videos for quite a while because of it. I was afraid to say anything because I'm like, crap. You say something somebody doesn't like, and they're just gonna, well, go ahead and do it all you want, because I'm gonna, turn right back around and go, hey, this is these people, and, there's no reason for them to do it, and, because that's not cool to do. The police even laughed because it was a family member, and they're like, well, have they talked to you lately or anything? Nope, 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 sure haven't. Like, so the police even said, well, so how would they know your mental state? And I said, exactly. So anyway, sorry this video's so long, but sometimes I just want to talk and feel like I have a captive audience, if you've made it this far or not. You guys know I don't normally talk about real personal stuff just because it's personal stuff. But, sometimes you're like, I don't feel like I need to hide this because we didn't do anything wrong. It's like in the past when my children may have had a disagreement with each other. When that happens, I've told them, they're adults now, and that's something they're going to have to work out among themselves. I haven't taken sides or anything. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I mean, you know, that person is, of age. Let them, let your adult children, work that out for themselves. They're going to have that relationship, just the two of them when you're gone, So, yeah. It is what it is. And they've made their choice, and my mother's always taken a great delight in running around saying that my brother was basically raised an only child. And, yeah, because they did that. It's so bad that people in the town they live in don't even know that they have a daughter. Because, see, I only lived there 2.5 years. I lived there long enough to graduate high school. Once we moved down there, and then I came back on up to Casper. Well, they just never ever told anybody that they had a daughter and grandchildren. I always got the biggest feeling with my parents, especially my mother. She never took much interest in my kids growing up. She did my youngest when she was just the only child, but it was bound to me she wasn't going to like my second child, and she never really took much interest in her at all. And I always got the impression, though, because at that time was my brother's first marriage. He's been married many times. But, that should tell you something. But, that she was waiting for real grandchildren, from her real son. See, I'm doing that kind of triangle heart pattern. See, so you see the ribbon now, and then you see the standard. So, yeah, just wanted to show you guys that. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. It helps to talk some, because I decided I want to open up a little bit more, because a lot of people really don't know much about me. And if I don't start putting a little bit more out there in a video, someday it will be my turn to cross over and nobody will really know anything about me. So, anyway, let me know about if you want to talk about family member, dysfunction in your family or estrangement, and stuff. And if you don't want to, that's cool too. Just remember you're not alone. And I hope everybody has a great day, and I hope you have some fun weekend plans. Like I said, I'm not sure. I'm trying to see Monday. I know we have some errands to run. We got some mailing to do. If we're not too busy in the weather season, I'd love to maybe talk Mr. Mann into going up to Tallahassee to go to the China buffet. I know I keep saying it, and then I know I feel guilty because it's a waste of gas, but it really would be nice to do. And yeah, I wouldn't mind, going up to Tallahassee for a little bit. So anyway, have a great day, and I will talk to you guys later, and thanks for listening. Bye. Oh, wait, I want to tell you guys one more funny thing. Okay? Thought you were rid of me, didn't you? Okay. Now I don't know who watches all the way to the end, too. The other day, and I actually was talking with my friend Carol a little bit, and it also talked with Linda. All of a sudden, my washer wouldn't work. Must have been Tuesday. And I was just kind of heartbroken. It's that one that Carol bought me. It fits in the tub, and it does the washer on one side and the spin on the other. I use it at least twice a week, sometimes more. And I'm like, oh God, it won't work. And I went in there 3 or 4 times trying to figure out why it wouldn't work. You would turn it and it wouldn't agitate. You'd hear it clicking. And I thought, oh no, And I was even looking online, because right now we really don't want to spend the extra money and stuff. So, like, but I didn't buy anything. I talked to Brad and was telling him, and I'm like, well, I want to wait till you get home tonight, have you look at it, and then see if you and I will decide, what to do. I'm glad I did, because I went in for the fourth and final time. I was getting ready to drain it, because it was full of water, detergent, laundry, the whole bit. And I was looking at it, and I was like, okay, double check it's all the way plugged in. Yes, it's all the way plugged in. And I'm looking around, and then it dawns on me. I look over, and I have a wax melter in my bathroom. It's on the counter. And I thought, it's not on. Why is it not on? Then it dawned on me. Oh, yes, sisters. Yes. Say hallelujah. Okay, the multi-plug. Well, it's not a multi-plug, but it's just like it has 3 plug-ins, right? Well, I have one outlet only in the bathroom, and then the switch is on the top. So I plug that in the daytime, and that way I'm able to plug the washer in, the wax melter, and a fan. Well, at night I unplug it to put in a nightlight. Yeah. Apparently, this washing machine needs electricity to work. Who knew? Because I plugged that in, and hallelujah, it starts agitating and says, thank you. So, yeah, it was a shiny moment. Told Brad, I said, and you let me pay the bills and stuff today. Oh. It'd been a whole clustermunk of stuff that day, of stuff I couldn't find. I'd lost the remote, couldn't find it. Well, yeah, it was in with the dog toys. Doesn't everybody keep their TV remote in the dog toys? I don't want to. So, anyway, love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.